Now it's time for Whispers, your number one source for all things paranormal, with your hosts Jordan Klein and Nick Queen, and produced by the lovely Lola Miller. Whispers is brought to you by West Virginia Penitentiary Tours at the West Virginia State Penitentiary in Moundsville. Unforgettable, historical, educational.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to Whispers on AM 1600 WKKX, the Valley's Watchdog, and UPRN, the UFO Paranormal Radio Network. It is 6:09 p.m. It is 21 degrees outside and snowy. Is it snowing right now? It was snowing when we walked in. Doesn't look like it's out there right now.
You always have a 50% chance.
Yeah.
These days, it's probably snowing.
All right. I'm Jordan Klein. He's Nick Queen. She is the lovely Lola Miller that I missed wholeheartedly. Oh,
I missed you too, Jordan. I was so worried about you coming home. They were just plucking people off your flights left and right, and
It was
thought,
crazy.
oh my gosh, he's gonna get arrested, and we're gonna get a trip down south to bail him out.
that's right.
I was going to leave him.
No, listen, right?
Oh,
It'd been
I
a great
couldn't
story.
do that to my guy.
Right after I called in to talk for the second hour, this lady just started flipping out in the line, like you just hear her screaming. All the security ran over. They took her in like a secret hallway they had back there.
They got a lot of those.
It was like, oh my God, And then I called you, and I was going to call back because right after all that, right after I got off the phone with you, another flight landed. Right?
Yeah.
And the people started walking out. Well, like 4 security guys walked to the gate and waited for a guy to come out. And they're like, hey, buddy. And I was like, what happened?
Oh, my gosh.
It was awesome.
It's becoming hazardous to one's mental health anymore to fly.
I know. Well, it was entertaining to me. Like the whole time, I was thinking somebody goes off and taking them down. Like I was mentally preparing myself. I was like, I can take that guy out. I can take that guy out.
But that guy, I'm leaving alone.
That guy, I might need this guy's help, so I hope he's not crazy.
Or a scaredy cat.
I had it all mapped out. I was ready for it.
Well, good. Well, on Christmas Day, look at that guy went over 2 sections of seats to tackle that bad guy. So, you have to be prepared.
Jordan's all prepared and everything, but at the same time, Jordan's going to end up like, oh, I go to the bathroom quick,
I'm going to get you, buddy. I have to go to the bathroom, sir.
It'll be your luck. It'll be an air marshal.
He'll come over with a gun. Ah! And I'll bear hug him to the ground, start headbutting him. Nobody wins in a headbutt.
Cocoa
And the phone call would be, Nick, I made a terrible mistake.
Nick, Lola.
Help me.
Help.
He looked shady. He had a badge.
He had the craziest look in his eye.
And he had a gun.
I thought I was doing the right thing, but apparently it's against the law to tackle the U.S. Marshal on a plane.
All right, question. This begs the question then.
Yes, ma'am.
Naked body scans, for them or against them?
It depends on how cold the weather is.
Yes, John keeps bringing up how cold it is in airports. Well, okay, we get it.
That matters to guys.
Well, it matters to girls, too, but perhaps not in quite the same way. But
It doesn't have a zoom function anyway, so you don't have to worry.
If I could put some, lead undies on.
Well, that defeats the purpose. My attitude is if somebody wants to pluck that image off and put it on the internet, go ahead. Make my day. I'm serious. Oh, and you can, now they're trying to scare everybody that it can give you cancer. Well, it's not even as much x-ray as a chest x-ray, and nobody's going to stand in that thing and allow themselves to be bombarded for 30 days in a row. It's just another scare tactic.
It might be bad for frequent flyers. People who fly for business, pilots maybe.
Oh, I don't. The only ones I would be concerned with would be pregnant women. And even then, it's such a low dose because it's not having, it only has to go through.
See, but that's when the good old-fashioned strip shirts works.
Well, and you've got your option. You can be, and it depends on who's working as to which one I would choose.
Beauregard in the chat room said it depends on what the women look like.
Well, John and I were looking at a scan on the Drudge Report.
Yeah.
Thursday or Friday, I guess. And, yeah, it was, she was hot. She was hot.
Oh, you heard it from Ola. Drudge Report. Go there.
Yeah.
Don't go there right now. There's a sex robot on Drudge Report.
A sex robot?
World's first sex robot.
Oh,
and Avatar.
The blow-up dolls are losing business. Damn.
And Avatar inspires 3D porn. I have no idea what's happening in this country.
Wow. Now some of that stuff coming right at ya? Ooh, that could be really
And I have to
scary.
ask you, did you get to go see Avatar yet?
No, I haven't.
Gosh.
I know.
Let me tell you
but
what.
I didn't know you had to buy the damn glasses, and then they won't let you use your glasses
Every time,
again.
and then you have to you can recycle them so they can put them in a bag and sell them to you again.
Baloney. If I'm paying $250 for those glasses, they're going home with me.
Let me tell you what. If you take the plot line, if you have it scripted out of Avatar, and don't get me wrong, visually it's an awesome movie. Like, it's worth it to watch it visually.
I heard, but the plot is real soft.
To look at the plot, if you can match it up identically to Pocahontas. No lie. No, like, you can take the script of Pocahontas, scratch out their names, and put them with Avatar names, and it's the exact movie.
Really?
Like,
well, how many?
It's worth it though. It was really good.
Well, see, now Sherry went to see it yesterday.
Yeah.
And, well, she said it was good. It was too long, number one. And the fact that you have to buy your glasses. Now,
well, that's all 3D movies. You got to do that with all of them.
Well, I guess, they try and say that, like, these movies these glasses are developed just for that particular movie. But when they ran the trailers of the next movies coming up,
that's a lie.
They told you to put your glasses
It's made
on.
for all 3D movies, I guess. So.
Well, then,
it's made specifically for that type of movie.
Who cares? I mean, who watches you after you pay? You go in and you just pick a theater.
Right.
So I am not. I will pay their little $2.50 for the first time and have them in my possession, and then I am not buying glasses again. Now, can you watch it? Say I didn't want to buy the glasses, and you bought the glasses. Can we watch the same movie?
It's all fuzzy.
If you were cross-eyed as all get out, then maybe.
You're fine, Lola.
Well, okay. Remember when 3D glasses were one was red and one was blue?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I thought this was. I didn't know. Okay, watch.
Lola's still living in the Stone Age.
She's still living in the age of Jaws 3D. This is better than Jaws 3D. You don't want to watch Jaws 3D.
Watch the first Ghost Hunter International.
Yeah.
Because I love Barry. He's my guy. Where they were trying to resurrect Hitler's ghost.
Yeah.
We need money. We need to be able to afford to go to places like Argentina, Brazil, Chile, and Europe. That's where the real ghosties are.
I was getting so worried that you're going to say, we need to try to do this.
That's pretty much what she's saying.
We need to resurrect Hitler.
We need to go.
You didn't see it then?
I didn't watch it. But how do you feel as a Jewish woman?
Well, see,
wanting to resurrect Hitler?
Oh, I would love to. I would tell that son of a bitch exactly how I feel about it. I mean, let's face it. But it was really, well, it's supposedly they go to this resort, I think it's Argentina, and it was pretty well known that it was a lot of Nazis that somehow got out of Europe just before the end of the war. And they had one wing that was like elites, they had another wing that was for the workers, and they had a third wing that was the hospital. And they were famous for their plastic surgery. They wouldn't hire any locals to work there. And it is said that Hitler, not as a ghost, but as a person, was spotted there.
Yeah,
and
he faked his death and went.
Yeah. And that's not out of the... How do we know that was really his body that was crispy crittered?
I was going to say, supposedly the Russians are the ones that took him, and they have his skull or something.
Well,
but that's really all we have.
But how... Now they were some of the guys were speaking German, and I don't know that Hitler knew English. He may not have. A lot of those muckety mucks didn't know, and he wasn't really an educated person. So, he may not have known English. But that's what gets me when they go to Europe and places like that. They're speaking English to ghosts spirits that died like in 1100.
That's like if you just had a recorder out and you hear, like, whoa, I heard something, but it wasn't a word. Well, it could
have been a word.
Could have been Swahili.
Or it could have been,
Indian.
or German, it could be all these. So that's always I've always pondered that. Why do we always assume that ghosties from the 1100s and 1200s would speak English?
Yeah.
I don't think they gleaned that over the years.
And Hitler did not know English.
So in Ghost Adventures, did they...
they were speaking some German. Not like carrying on a real conversation, but they knew how to say, Hitler, are you here? Very short phrases.
Go 999.
I know. Again, we can tell what movie that came from.
What? Yeah, that was a great movie.
Nick.
Yeah, I know. But I would
just watched
love
it last
to go
week,
to these places where they're really having some experiences.
Oh, yeah. I would love that. So if anybody out there has a lot of money and
wants to sponsor us,
would like to sponsor that,
yes,
we would love to fly around on your dollar.
So now did we have a caller?
We'll even take you with her.
No, it's somebody for Lola.
Oh,
off the air?
Yeah.
Oh, I thought it was perhaps our guest called in.
No.
Do you want me to call him?
Sure.
Yeah.
I wanted to talk about Ghost Hunters International.
We'll
get Barry Fitzgerald back on for you.
Oh, good.
but you're not allowed to hit on him again, Lola.
Why not? He's clear over there. What if my flirting would actually lead to something? You think I would not take you guys with me? Wouldn't you love to
Not on the honeymoon, I hope.
Well.
Jeez, you burst every bubble, Nick. Damn. But I was, we could go on. We could be on Ghost Hunters International and stuff.
I'm with you.
I
support your blatant flirting. I'm with you. Also, we did talk about advertisers. We did pick up another a new sponsor for the show. It's the Market House Bar and Grill. If you know, last month we had 2 shows that were live remotes there, and we're going to start continuing the live remotes there, and you'll hear some Market House commercials. So please support them as they support us. And if you have a business out there and you'd like us to come and do a remote there,
or sponsor the show,
or be a sponsor of the show, we do have a national audience that would love to buy your stuff. So give us a call, 304-214-1610. That's our business office, and we can work something out.
Or 1-866-514-1600, and they'll tell you to call 304-214-1610. I don't know if they can transfer.
Wow, good job, Nick.
Yeah. I just realized what the heck I was doing.
Yeah. Okay, our guest tonight is...
Also, one more before we go to that, because all the hard work that I put in before we came here, I want to make sure that it's it's recognized and used for the band's link and so forth on our... This is your baby, too.
Okay.
This is the thing you called me about 4 a.m, Nick.
All right, listen, for those of you that want your music played as our bumper music in and out of commercials through the show, you can go to our website, whispers radio.com. There is a link that Nick worked so hard on that says bands, and you click on it and submit your info there, and we'll check it out and see if we can play it. And other than that, you can always email us at whispers1600@gmail.com.
And last week we were playing some Power Pirate. Today we're going to be playing some stuff. So.
Yeah, Power Pirate from DC.
And this is Chaos Killed.
Yeah, and tonight we're going to be playing Chaos Killed, who has a show at the Capitol, I believe the 31st of this month.
Wow.
And they're from West Liberty.
Good.
Very nice.
So it'll be good stuff. They're great guys.
Speaking of the Capitol, just real quick, Andre, and we'll get right to you. Tomorrow night, Drowsy Chaperone. It's part of the Broadway series, and they still have tickets available. So I really hope that people will go out and
go support the Capitol, or we're going to lose it again.
That's right. And this is Broadway. I mean, it's The show is on Broadway,
Yeah.
so you can't beat that.
Broadway's coming to your town, and if you
That's
don't
right.
you don't buy it, we'll never get the chance again. So
That's
Broadway
right.
on Main Street, people.
there we go.
Very good, Nick. Another
This is
clever
my second.
You're not allowed to talk the rest of the day, or we're going to lose it.
I'm hanging up my headset.
Our guest
Goodbye,
tonight,
people.
Mr. Andre Fertino, his book, Flagler's Few and the Reaper of St. George Street. Are you with us?
I am.
How you doing? Sorry about that. We had a lot to catch up on.
No, that's perfectly all right. That's perfectly fine. Thanks for having me on the show.
Oh, thank you. It was kind of short notice, we know, but we want to talk about your book. Now, this isn't a regular book. This is a graphic novel, right?
It is, but first, before you talk about that, I just want to tell you where I am right now. I am standing in the middle of the Perkins and Sons Chandlery on the downtown riverfront of Savannah, Georgia. It's freaking cold outside right now.
Nice.
And I am surrounded by artifacts that have been dredged from shipwrecks off of the coast of the Florida Keys. And it's pretty creepy right now, guys. This is the new venue for the Ghost and Gravestones of Savannah, Georgia, where Old Town Trolley operates out of. And it's, in essence, our new haunted location. So I thought you guys might get a kick out of hearing about this.
That's awesome.
On one wall, we've got an old 18th century or 1800s piano. On the other side, we've got a rickety old cotton bale elevator. We've got a bust of Abraham Lincoln sitting here in one corner. We've got a sarcophagus, a child sarcophagus pulled out of the Mississippi River on one side, and an 18th century couch that seems to be suspended from the ceiling. So just a little bit of surroundings. I thought I'd give us some mood for here. Oh, we even got a cannon over here in the right. 2 cannons. Okay.
That's awesome. Now, let me tell you
I
this.
love Savannah.
I spent New Year's in Savannah. And
Did you?
yes, I did. And
It was freezing, wasn't it?
oh, it was so cold. And I was walking around, and I had all these pamphlets for the ghost tours. I went and bought a book that the ghost tour was based on, and was going to take it, but we had to leave, and I couldn't stay around. So I'm so glad that not only are you the author of the book we were wanting to promote, but you also do the ghost tours in Savannah.
I do. I've
So,
been doing it for about 4 years now. So
And you could have met him. And
I know. And it was funny because I was in the bookstore and I was like, okay, are you one of the people that work on the ghost tours? Because I kind of want somebody for the show. And he's like, no, we don't do that, you know. So it's such a great coincidence that.
Now we have
hey,
him.
come back down. Come back down. I'll give you guys a ghost tour.
Oh,
And
man.
if not, I'll get you definitely inside the Chandlery here. It's a little creepy right now. So
Let me
we're
tell you
just getting
what.
ready for our first wave of ghost tours this evening. We actually have ghost tours in 20-degree weather.
Oh.
Pretty shocking, but
Well,
people are
that's
here
a-
and ready for it.
It was like -2 here the other
Yeah,
day, so don't
so-
tell me about your 20-degree
Yeah.
weather.
Wah, wah, wah.
This is the tropics for you guys, right? So,
I wish it was 20.
That's T-shirt weather.
oh, Lord.
No, but I'm going to take you up on that because I'll definitely be down there again because I got family down there. So I'm going to go check that stuff out.
Oh, I love the whole coastal area. I just love all those towns. We took a boat from Detroit, Michigan. It was like a 90-some footer all the way down the intercoastal. So we hit all those cities on the way down, and I just fell in love with all of them.
Yeah, I wouldn't want to be anywhere else, to be honest with you. I've been on to the West Coast. I've traveled a few other places, but I really love the East Coast.
Yeah.
Yeah,
You know.
me too. I've never been anywhere other than the East Coast, really. So
Well, that's all right. The West Coast is going to drop off into the ocean at some point in time anyway.
there we go.
That'll be some prime ghost hunting on a boat.
I bet.
All right, so now your book here. Let me see here. I'm going to butcher the name, I'm sure.
The Flagler's
Flagler's Few.
Flagler's Few, yes. Named after Henry Flagler, the man who was pretty much responsible for building all of Florida into the tourist attraction it is today. So,
Oh,
And the Reaper of St. George Street.
yes,
Yes,
the
and-
first of a hopeful series of 13 books. I have planned 13 books for the series.
Okay, so now
Yeah.
what exactly is this about? What is it? What happens?
Okay, well, Flagler's View is a graphic novel, or what a lot of people commonly know as a comic book. And it is a comic book where the heroes are actually ghost hunters. It features a ragtag group of college-age ghost hunters. One is a modern-day pirate, the other modern-day witch. The other one's a wannabe pirate. We've got a skeptic in there for good form, and there's a computer video game comic book nerd in there as well. And the four of them team up in a Ghostbusters kind of way to try and defeat this evil poltergeist that's terrorizing this young girl and is trying to kill her. And the book pretty much follows their adventures in St. Augustine while they try to defeat this ghost using everything from, psychic abilities to real paranormal investigative ways, and then all the way into a little bit of fiction and fantasy as well. And, of course, featuring in St. Augustine, which is considered to be the one of the most haunted cities in the nation and is most certainly the oldest city in the nation, having been founded back in 1565.
Well, why did you pick St. Augustine over Savannah, which is also one of the most haunted cities?
It is. I'm originally from Florida.
Oh, okay.
And I used to spend every summer since I was a kid in St. Augustine, so I kind of have my loyalties to St. Augustine above all else. And I've investigated both in Savannah and St. Augustine, and I happen to find that St. Augustine just seems to be a lot creepier. The stories there, the folklore and everything is just a little bit more wicked than what's used to over here in Savannah in the Bible Belt of the South.
Yeah. Now, have you ever experienced anything paranormal, perhaps on St. George or somewhere else in St. Augustine?
In St. Augustine, I have to be honest with you. I'm one of the paranormal investigators who hasn't come from a background of experiencing ghosts when I was a child. As much as I would love to say that I've seen ghosts in every shape or form, I can't. And I've gone looking for them.
That's okay. I'm with you on that. So.
You're with me on that. Good. We're okay.
Yeah.
But the thing is that I've seen things and experienced things on my ghost tours in Savannah, and I've never seen a full body apparition, but I have seen things such as a tree branch moving unexplainably in one scene when I was talking about a ghost that hangs from the tree.
Oh, that's neat.
And I have never heard or seen any movement in that tree since that time, but somebody took a photograph that evening and captured what looked specifically like the shoulders and the head of this person who had hanged from the tree.
That's great.
And, I checked it. I mean, I've been on ghost tours during, freezing weather, during windy weather, and I've yet to hear that same creaking sound. So that's one of the more unusual mass, experiences I've had with a whole group of tourists. But generally, as a paranormal investigator, I go in to try and debunk it, more so than try and prove it. And so far, most of the stuff has only been captured through EVPs. That's most of my experiences. So.
Now, how long have you been ghost hunting for?
I've been a paranormal investigator since around 2003, 2004. So it's been a little while, yeah.
Now that started in Florida, and then you said you went to the West Coast. Did you do any out on the West Coast as well, or?
It did. Hang on 1 second. Hold
Sure,
on.
go ahead. Okay.
This is Ghost. Go ahead. That's what they call me.
Radio B, Aaron Stress, just wait for him to come down.
See, this is dedication, folks. Right here.
10-4. I'm on the way to pick up the Chandler. Sorry about that.
No, that's okay.
This is dedication. Right here. Somebody is at work doing the deed and
Don't
on
let my
Whispers
boss
Radio. What's his email
But
address?
but yeah, right?
And your name is Ghost. What's his code name?
My boss?
Well, whoever you were talking
pain in
to.
the ass. That's what No, he's a good boss. He's a good boss. But, no, I've been doing it since about 2003, so I got in before the ghost hunter craze, mass media hysteria that went on
Good.
with that.
Now, do you have a lot of people show up with, like full gear, ready to...
I had a little girl. This is a great story. This little girl ran up to me before Ghost Tour started. She had this little pink construction worker's helmet, and on top of it had a little flashlight, and on the side printed was Ghost Hunter. And she goes, "I'm ready for the Ghost Tour!" And I nearly fell down laughing.
Now, how old was she
funny.
again?
She was 5. So
Jeez.
if it was 18, I would have thought a little differently. But she was a cute little 5-year-old who was ready to go on a ghost hunt. But
that's awesome.
I've had people show up. I've had more psychics show up than I've had people who come in, with EVPs and EMF detectors and that lot. So
now, how does that correlate? I guess if you have a psychic that comes on your tour, and they're like, "Oh, this area is active," and then you're like, "No, it's not. Come over this way."
Yeah.
Does that happen to you a lot?
I have people who decide not to tell me that they're psychics until halfway through the tour, and they'll walk up to me and they'll try to explain their story and what they do and how they do it, and I've tried to debunk them a little bit. Yeah, I'm on the way to pick you up. They try and debunk. They try and debunk it a little bit. I'll try and throw things at them to try and throw them off a little bit. I've yet to really meet a full-fledged what I can believe to be a tourist/psychic. Most of the psychics who come on just want a little attention, who come on ghost tours, if you know what I mean. So, and I have worked with real psychics, so it's unusual, but when they come on, I usually don't give them very much credence unless they can prove to me that they are what they say they are.
Yeah. If you want to hold on just a minute, we got to take a quick break, and then
Sure.
we will be right back. Let you pick up your boss. You're listening to Whispers Radio on AM 1600 WKKX, the Valley's Watchdog, and UPRN, the UFO Paranormal Radio Network. We'll be right back.
And now back to Whispers, brought to you by West Virginia Penitentiary Tours.
Welcome back to Whispers, everybody, on AM 1600 WKKX, the Valley's Watchdog, and UPRN, the UFO Paranormal Radio Network. I'm Jordan Klein, he's Nick Queen, and she is the lovely Lola Miller. The music you're hearing now is Chaos Killed. They are a band from West Liberty University. They will be playing at the Capitol Theater, I believe the 31st of this month. So check them out. Love them. They're great guys. Our guest today, Mr. Andre Fertino, his book, Flagler's Few and the Reaper of St. George Street. He is also one of the tour guides who is actually leading a tour right now in Savannah, Georgia.
Hi, guys. So
Hi.
I'm not leading the tour, I'm managing it. So
Hey, either or.
I'm out front. So. But it works.
You're doing
It
the
works.
biz, whichever.
Right. I'm living the good life.
Yeah.
So it's great when you can mix, it's great when you can mix, your love of, paranormal with your work life as well. So
Oh, yeah.
it's a good thing. And I'll tell you, Old Town Trolley is a great company to work with. So I love being able to do ghost tours here and everything, and they're pretty authentic about stuff. So
Now, getting back to your book,
yeah.
how do you find these characters? I mean, because it's kind of a random. You got a modern day witch, a wannabe pirate. It's how did you come up with these characters to get together to do hunt a poltergeist?
Oh, the characters are actually based off of people I know. Some of them are friends of mine. Others are just people I've heard of. A little bit of folklore and history and other stories and fiction actually are involved in creating the characters that I designed for the book. So, but one of the main characters, Roger Blimes, who is a pirate in my book, he's heavily based off a friend of mine who, if you met him, he dresses, looks, acts, and sounds just like the character. And
Like a
I've had
pirate?
people who've read. He is definitely a wannabe pirate.
Now, is this a Jack Sparrow?
No. See, this is what I'm thinking of right now.
I'm
You ever watch
sorry.
Dodgeball?
Oh.
The guy that walks around like a pirate all the time?
He's more like a street punk kind of guy. If you saw him, he looks a little bit more like a street punk sort of character. You would probably be more afraid of him trying to mug you on the streets than you would be of worrying about him trying to steal
So he's
your
a
pirate
street
ship.
pirate.
Don't loot me booty!
Pretty much,
We
yeah.
call those pickpockets up here.
Ah,
Yeah.
wow.
This is street
I'm
pirate.
sorry.
Yeah, but I mean, I love the characters that I created for them, and so far I've gotten some pretty good feedback from people on what they think about the story and how it plays out. Another great thing about it is the fact that I was able to incorporate paranormal investigators' tips from all over the country. I've had investigators from all over donate tips to actually put in the beginning of each chapter of the book. So that really, I thought, was a nice touch to it.
Now, what kind of tips have you gotten?
Oh, we've got everything from tips where people are like, don't go investigating by yourself, tips about what certain equipment to bring in with you. Some people have gone as far as telling you what kind of mindset you should be in when you're doing a paranormal investigation. It's all open to interpretation, but it comes from people who are in the field, all over the country and the world, and it gives their location and their website addresses, so you can go check out their paranormal group sites. because I think it's very important that the paranormal community band together a little bit more than it is
of
right now, you know?
Definitely.
So
we're pretty strong, in agreement with that.
Yeah, and I think that everybody is. I think it's a good thing that a lot of people are in agreement with it, because if we keep spreading ourselves thin like this, and we aren't willing to communicate between each other and use each other's information, then we'll never be able to grow into what would be considered a real science.
Yeah.
So.
Well, I know everything is so jealously guarded, and it's
Definitely.
really not some
Cutthroat.
national secret, you
Yeah.
know, and. Yeah, I'm amazed at
It's like
that,
if they have one really good piece of equipment that they're finding something with, instead of saying, "Hey guys, try this out," it's "Look what I have. Give me a TV show too."
Yeah.
And you hit it on the head. It's all about the TV show. I mean, we're not even talking paranormal TV show right now. Everybody seems to be in a reality TV show craze.
I know.
Yeah.
I mean, you got Balloon Boy, and then you got the people who crashed the presidential ball or whatever it was.
Yeah,
I mean,
yeah.
these people are all doing it for reality TV show spots, and I mean, I'll tell you, it's ridiculous the extremes that people go to for that.
Well, when you can get a bunch of bad housewives from New Jersey to get their own
Yeah.
show, I mean, the sky is the limit as far as all that stuff goes. And it's so cheap to produce. That's
It
why
is.
networks
It is.
love it.
Yeah, well, I mean, I worked for Pilgrim Film and Television for a while on a new paranormal TV show, and it was a great experience, and those guys were top notch when it came to keeping things real. But there are people out there who just really want to get on these ghost hunter shows, and they will do anything to do it.
Really?
Yeah.
And it's those people who are just making us look worse and worse. Those are the people that the public is going to see as this is what those ghost hunter people are like.
Yeah.
And that's not a good kind of sign. So.
Now, what kind of show were you working on then?
I can't. I worked. I guess I'll talk a little bit about it. I'm a little on the fence about how I'm supposed to address it because of all the contracts and everything that you have to deal with when working in the paranormal TV show world. But it's a show that's on TLC right now called Ghost Intervention. Have you guys heard of it or
Okay,
seen it?
yeah, I've heard of that.
Yeah, I was working on the show when they wanted to have a ghost hunter on there, when they wanted a paranormal investigator, and eventually they decided that they wanted to go more into the realm of the psychics.
It's always a poor
it just
decision.
kind of went. Yeah. I was between that. I was picking the shows between that and Ghost Hunter Academy, and they told me that if it was on this show, I'd be the only guy plus the only ghost hunter, and I thought that it would be a more interesting take. But the show seems to be thriving on its own without the ghost hunter element. But it was creative differences, but everybody left on good terms.
Well, that's
cool.
good.
That's good.
Now, what you sound like you've worked in this field for a while. What is something? Is there anything that just irritates you, like a pet peeve? That either ghost hunting, the paranormal itself. Dish a little bit.
I'll tell you what I really hate, and I see too much of it nowadays, is ghost hunter expeditions. When you pay $120 to go to a haunted location with 20 other investigators and try and find a ghost, I think that's ridiculous. I've seen it happen on large scales, where I've seen hundreds of people go to these ghost hunter convention conferences, and they go into a house like the Sorrel Weed House here in Savannah, which is the house that was featured on the first Halloween special for ghost hunters back in 2005.
Yeah.
They had two of the investigators from Ghost Hunters International on their own. Not, I don't believe it was actually sanctioned by Pilgrim Film or even by TAPS or anything like that. But they got together and they wanted to have ghost hunter, all-night investigations, and they charged like $25 a head. And, that's fine and all. If you want people to go out there, but as far as a legitimate ghost investigation, I just couldn't understand it,
Yeah. Well, a lot of
you can't
people,
do a
it's
real-
for a cheap thrill type of thing. Like
Yeah,
just
pretty
being
much.
there. Like
They want to get scared silly is what it is.
we do an event at the penitentiary here in West Virginia, and it's more not really people. Like there's some groups that say, okay, we're doing this as a serious event, but other people just want to go there because one, it's a documented haunted location. Two, it's historically just scary. And people go in there, and we've had people. They haven't made it past the lobby. They pay money to get in there, and they're like, "We're good here." You know?
Well, that's fine. I mean, if people want to be scared, that's great. I mean, I don't think it shouldn't be offered.
Yeah.
I don't think what the guys at Ghost Hunters International did was wrong, but
I think it's the way they
when
advertise it.
people, well, it wasn't even how they advertised it, but it's definitely when people go around saying, come in and join. I don't believe they use this exact term, but I have seen this used before. People say, come and join an authentic ghost investigation. But there's nothing authentic about 25 people crammed into one house, you know? Or 100 people. I went on one I'm ashamed to say myself, I went on one conference where they jammed almost 100 or about 50 people into the St. Augustine Lighthouse. And all you heard was the screaming echoes of people as they were trying to climb up the stairs.
Yeah.
At one point, I just sat down next to Stacy the Ghost Cop, if you've ever heard of her. She's been featured on A Haunting and other TV shows. She used to be a police officer turned paranormal investigator. And it's crazy because we sat there and I just looked at her and I was like, so much for the ghost hunt, you know, because you couldn't hear anything.
Yeah.
And that's my pet peeve is when people start to profit from it and call it a ghost hunt. If you want to go on a tour, then call it a ghost tour, but don't call it a ghost hunt or a paranormal investigation and have them climbing up it's like a clown car, pretty much. You know?
Yeah.
So you have people who can stick in. So.
Well, size of the location plays into that too. I mean, what is it, Weston? That's, you know, just this gigantic. Is that the lunatic asylum? That's just like incredibly huge, or Waverly Hills Sanitarium.
Waverly Hills, I think is what
Yeah.
I'm thinking of. Yeah.
That it's just like this huge building. I mean, you could probably put 100 people in there, and it really not bother too many people at all. You know?
I wouldn't.
Yeah,
know.
but even then.
Well, I mean, you wouldn't do it, but I'm saying, you know, size definitely plays in. Like the lighthouse can't be that big, you know, to cram that many people in.
It's the 9th largest lighthouse in the nation, I believe. But even still, if you have a place as large as Waverly or any other place, it still takes into a factor that you have 100 unaccounted people running around a location.
Yeah.
So you don't know what you're going to get as authentic. I mean, somebody could scream on the 5th floor, and on the 8th floor, you're getting EVPs that sound like screams that are just echoes from that. So nothing's authenticated or can be authenticated.
We ran into that with the pen because somebody was there with some weird machine that I don't believe actually works. And they had, instead of using headphones, they had these huge speakers. So anybody that was in any range of them,
like
that's
that
what
side of the building.
Yeah, that's what you were hearing. And a lot of us stayed outside because you can get stuff outside too. And that's where we went because these people were just so rude with those speakers. I mean, they were blaring, and they were right at the crossroads between the wings and so who knew what you were getting until they finally shut that thing down, and then people could, hear what was going on. But yeah,
I mean, that's my pet peeve. If you have to ask, that's what drives me up a wall. Because, I mean, I'm a fiction writer. I'm a storyteller.
Yeah.
I enjoy telling stories. And when I'm on my ghost tours, that I try to pick as close to the scientific story as possible when I'm telling them these things. So instead of, most tour guides will just say, or one story and leave it at that.
Yeah.
I like to take at least 5 different sources and then find out what's the common consistencies of each source, and then I build my ghost tour off of that. And, I mean, as a fiction writer, as a ghost investigator, as a tour guide, I think the more you make something real, the more realistic in that. And I mean, that's how the Flagler's Feud book goes about. I mean, it tried to fit it so that when you read the book, you could see the places in St. Augustine, relate to what's happening in the book, and even go, hey, I could believe that this is actually going on in the city. While I'm in touring it or investigating it or whatnot.
Now,
so,
did you use real stories in your book?
There are legends and lore that is actually real to the city that actually have sort of cameo and guest appearances.
That's
so,
great. This
is Ghost. Sorry, this is Ghost. Go ahead.
Are you about to come get me?
I'm on the way. I'll be there in about 10:15. So.
Now,
go ahead.
What age group would be appropriate for this book? I mean, are we talking all ages?
Be there now. Yes, it's mostly meant for 14 and up, to be honest with you.
Okay.
But I made it. The center focus was to make it an entertaining book for ghost hunters and investigators and people interested in the paranormal. It's actually geared for that group. anybody can enjoy the book, whether you believe in ghosts or not, but I geared it for paranormal investigators to just take with them and enjoy. It's chock full of facts and information about the city of St. Augustine, which is a common place that a lot of paranormal investigators go, both the, movie, TV show realm all the way down to, the lonely ghost hunter who watches TV shows.
Yeah.
But I made it so that everybody could enjoy it. And I tried to keep it it's pretty creepy. I would say you should be at least over the age of 12 or 13 to read the book. But
any parts in the story get pretty scary? Like...
I'm in the midst of finishing up Flagler's View and Victor's Revenge, which is the continuating story of the first book.
Uh-huh.
So the second part of it, I've got to say, is about 10 times more exciting than the first one. I'm not saying that the first one's not exciting, but you're going to have a lot more creep factor in the second one coming up. The first one's mostly been to establish the characters, establish the setting, where they are, what's going on, what to expect. But the second one's going to be a lot more creep factor, and I think that there will be a lot more things will stand out in the next book.
How long are these?
The first book rang in about 143 pages, so the second one will probably be close to that same count.
Who's doing your artwork?
I am.
Wow.
I graduated.
Okay.
I graduated from the Savannah College of Art and Design in about March of 2009. And I've been working on the book both while I was in school and while I was out of it. And I've been an illustrator, and that's my other big passion is comic books and illustration.
Yeah, that's awesome.
So, yeah.
All right, now we talked to you before the show. You said it would be okay if we give away one of these books. Is that
definitely
great? Now, what we'll do is, I guess, phone. Want to do it over the phone?
Yeah, let's take a phone call. 304-214-1600. 1-866-514-1600 if you're out of the area. The book is The Flagler's View and the Reaper of St. George Street. It's a graphic novel by Mr. Andre Fratino, and it'll be coming to you if you call on the phone. Yeah, I don't know why I did that. Don't ask.
Andre, you've got to understand what I'm working with.
I feel for you.
Thank you.
So
Thank you.
I work with idiots too.
I knew I liked this guy. How long is it going to? All right, if you were working on the first book before you graduated from school, you've started on the second. When do you think you're going to have the whole series done?
Oh Lord, the second one I'm hoping will be out in May, but. I calculated, and I think what's going to happen is I'm going to have the second book. I'll have the whole series done close to probably 6-7 years. I don't know. I mean,
how many stories? How many books are going to be in the series?
Go ahead. There's going to be 7 o'clock. Hold on.
He said 13 before.
13?
Yeah.
10-4. Okay, we got 16 on the tour. There's going to be about 13 books in the series.
Wow.
That's what we're looking at. And all the books will have to deal with something in the paranormal realm, ranging from Bigfoot, or more commonly in Florida, it'll be swamp ape. Or the skunk ape, I'm sorry.
A skunk ape?
We'll also be, skunk ape is what we call in Florida Bigfoot. And we'll also feature USOs, which are unidentified submersible objects. We're going to feature the whole spectrum of paranormal and supernatural characters along throughout the whole book series.
Wow, that's great.
So,
and I have to plug this in just because I ask every author. If since you're writing 13 books and you want to throw in a really cool radio
here we
guy,
go again.
he
wants to be murdered.
I want to be killed in a book.
Yeah.
Rip me apart.
I definitely, that's the one thing you actually got me on. One thing is I really want to have cameos from people in the paranormal realm throughout the whole series. The first one doesn't really feature anybody. The second one features kind of a takeoff of Melvin Willen. He's a paranormal photo analyst over in England.
Wow.
And he's put out a few books. One book was Ghosts. They're both coffee table-sized books. One's called Ghosts and one's called Paranormal. And they feature photos that he's collected from all over the world of people dealing with the paranormal.
Well, my friend, Whispers Radio would make a great addition.
I'm thinking
I would love to.
You could have your investigators have to get in touch with somebody so they come on our show and be interviewed and that kind of yeah, this could be a great storyline.
Make us idiots.
Well, if that does, I expect an autographed copy.
Oh, definitely. And if anybody were to call in here, they might get an autographed copy too. I see how much I'm loved. I see this.
Kim Craig called, and that's who won the copy of the book. So.
Oh, all right, then. I guess Kim's going to get a copy of the book signed.
I was going to say, there you go, Kim. We had to skip it because Jordan tried to get his own.
She got kicked off the air because I had to ask whether or not. Now, where's Kim from?
Martins Ferry,
Ohio.
Yep.
Oh, all right. Well, I look forward to sending that copy to you guys, and then you guys can send it on over.
Yeah, and we'll ship it right over to her.
Great.
Now, what other projects are you working on?
I'm currently working on illustrating a series of children's books for...
awesome.
What's her name? I'm sorry, that's terrible. I just said, what's her name? Her name is Mary Shelley Fraser. She is a really well-known author. One of her books was a New York Times best-selling novel.
Wow.
And she's featured on NPR several times. She does a lot of work for them. And one of her books was made into a straight-for-TV movie. But she's writing a series of children's books that are designed to accommodate children with physical disabilities, because she herself, she evidently suffered from polio in the 50s.
Oh.
So I'm working on illustrating books for her right now. As I said, I'm also working on the second Flagler's View book, and I'm mostly doing freelance work right now. So we'll see what happens with that and everything. But working for her has been great. She's an amazing woman, and her books are great. I'm working on a book that features a child in a wheelchair and her pet dog, Amos. So
what's the dog's name?
The dog's name is Amos.
Okay.
Jordan.
Amos. Amos.
Well, you said it kind of fast.
I apologize from the bottom of my heart.
See what
I mean? Like I said, Lola, I know what it's like to work.
Do me a favor. When you put the Whisper Show in, have Jordan somehow weirdly killed while we're on the air.
I'll love you forever.
So will I.
Bye, Lola.
All right. How can people get in touch with you if maybe they want some work done, they want to get a copy of your book?
Yeah.
If you go to my website, which is ARF Studios, ARFSTUDIOS.
Thank you for spelling it for him.
Yeah, right? I know. I didn't want him to butcher that one. If you go to that website, which I'm sure you guys will put up in a link on, you can actually go and there's a email location along the sideboard where you can actually get in touch with me through there. That'll link up to my Gmail account, and I love to receive any information, involving the paranormal, or anybody who wants to talk about possible commissions that will pay me. That's good as well.
Yes,
we all need money right now. Ghosts aren't paying enough of it. So we'll see how that turns out. But, I'd love to hear from anyone who wants to give feedback on the book as well. Like I said, I made this for ghost hunters.
Yeah.
And whether you're a skeptic or you're a scientific ghost hunter or you're a psychic or whatever you are, if this book was made for you and for them. And really, I don't care if I'm the next J.K. Rowling's or even that crazy woman who wrote Twilight. I don't care if I'm like that either. But if I had a good niche following of at least 200 people who enjoyed reading my stuff, I'd be happy. I could die a happy man.
So you don't have enough children to be J.K. Rowling's or that other woman. I forget her name too. But.
Well, the third book,
whose name we don't speak of.
That's a terrible writer. But the third book is called Flagler's View and the Pirate Skull of Fury, which features vampire pirates.
Okay.
So I don't know
awesome.
how you can go wrong then. Seriously, that is it. If I can throw in a werewolf in there and maybe a little preteen romance, boom.
Wow, you got a winner there. Then.
Hey, let me tell you, we got a link to your book and your website on our website, whispersradio.com. Big picture of your book. All you got to do is click on it. It'll go to Amazon, correct?
Yes. Or no, Lulu. It's fine.
Okay.
I'm opening up an Amazon soon, but right now it's pretty much only available through Lulu.
Okay.
Which is great quality, and your credit cards are safe with them, so don't worry.
Okay. We got to go. We're out of time. We got a cut break to CNN News. I want to thank you very much, Andre Fertino, the book, Flagler's View, and the Reaper of St. George Street. Thank you very much, sir. We'll be right back.
Thanks, Andre.
We'll
Thank
keep
you.
in
Thanks for
touch.
having
We'll
me
keep
on.
in touch. You're listening to Whispers Radio on AM 1600 WKKX, the Valley's Watchdog, and UPRN, the UFO Paranormal Radio Network. We'll be right back.
Live from the Sims Tower in the Robinson Auto Group studio, we are AM 1600 WKKX, the studio that Kellis built. Now it's time for Whispers, your number one source for all things paranormal, with your hosts Jordan Klein and Nick Queen, and produced by the lovely Lola Miller. Whispers is brought to you by West Virginia Penitentiary Tours. At the West Virginia State Penitentiary in Moundsville, unforgettable, historical, educational.
Hello, everybody. You're listening to Whispers Radio on AM 1600 WKKX, the Valley's Watchdog, and UPRN, the UFO Paranormal Radio Network. It is 7:06 p.m., about 21 degrees here in downtown Wheeling. The little picture on my Google says that it's snowing out, and apparently it's a liar. I'm
Nice.
Jordan Klein. He's Nick Queen. She's the lovely Lola Miller, who still giggles like a little schoolgirl.
I do. That embarrasses.
With us, joining us this hour is our boss,
Yes.
Hey, what
Wait.
up, what up, what up?
John
We got to be
Blackmore.
good now, you
We
guys.
got fired.
I know. Yeah.
So,
They never tell us till you're off the air.
Yeah, we'll have a meeting after the show where you will quickly be booted and security will escort you out the door.
Will they?
And
Yes.
rough us up on the way out. Right?
Absolutely. I'll rough you up on the
Oh,
way. Yeah.
do they?
Yes, absolutely.
Yay.
Lola's looking forward to
Lola's
the
excited.
Rhoda's
She's like, can I just get it now? Does it come with anything, like extra toys or anything? Oh, my God.
More, please.
More, please. Thank you, Mother. May I have another? Nice.
Things always turn.
I came in for Riley, man.
I know.
right.
I want to hear Riley. I didn't come in for you. I came in for Riley.
Hey, you know what?
Yeah.
Our guest tonight, Mr. Riley Martin. He is the author of The Coming of Tan. Mr. Riley, are you there?
Mr. Riley.
Who am I speaking to?
Jordan.
Jordan, how are you? How are you, Nick?
Hello.
How are you, Big John?
Hey, Okwan Tensenwa.
Oh, good. One, Big John, and Lola, my darling. How are
Hello. Hello, dear.
I've been telling Lola you've been wanting to talk to her all day.
you? Yes, yeah, definitely. My goodness, and I said, don't you worry. If you had a little sniffle or something, it'll be gone by morning because I'll tolerate nothing touching my babes.
Aw. Thank you.
You're welcome, my dear.
You got her blushing so much.
Yeah, and Riley, I know Lola. You are exactly Lola's type, by the way. Exactly Lola's type, Riley.
Well, she's beautiful and she's got class.
Oh.
You know, I love that. Mhm.
This man knows me so well.
So, how is life, Riley?
Oh, well, as good as an old cowboy's life can be, who is underpaid and underfed.
Where are you from, Riley?
I was born in the state of Mississippi, America, raised in northeastern Arkansas,
Uh-huh.
and during the course of my travels in life, I suppose I've circumnavigated the planet, my dear,
Oh.
and beyond.
Do you wear cowboy boots?
No, I do not.
Oh, you should have told her yes.
Oh.
No, I do not. However,
Mm-hmm.
I do wear my moccasins sometime.
Oh, well.
You know, I've got some Native American too. You know.
So that you, in other words, you walk softly.
Oh
with
yeah.
a big stick.
Right. But never,
Easy, Lola. Now, Riley, are you Native American? I know you wear
No.
the Cherokee headband.
well. My father and mom, about half and half African American, half Seminole and Cherokee.
Okay.
Put it like that. So I'm about half and half, I suppose.
So have you always been spiritual?
Yeah, it tends to run in the family, especially through my mother.
Yeah.
She has always had powers. Mom could heal you with a hug,
Yeah.
a cup of corn shuck tea, or something of that nature. And people would come from all around and ostensibly to pray with her or something like that, or she would touch them and help them and what have you. And I seem to have more or less inherited some of that ability. though I shall never be as angelic as she was. You see what I mean?
Now, do you think this is the reason that you were chosen by the, and I'm hoping I don't butcher the name, but the Biavians?
Biavians.
Biavians.
Well, actually, they did when they landed, when they were there on the river in 1953 at the age of 7, when they came out and started walking me back to the ship, they said, "Friend Martin, don't you remember us? We have come again. Don't you remember us?" I say, I'm looking at them, with them big heads, and I'm saying, "No, who are you? What are you? Who are you?" And they said, "Friend Martin, don't you remember us there near the Tigris and Euphrates, in the valley of Giza, when your ancestors did raise the Pyram in the valley of Giza? Don't you remember us?" And I said, "Oh, it's kind of coming back to me."
You said, "Oh, you," right?
Yeah, right. And so they were not referring to in the present sense, but in times gone past. And I was to discover that the force of life itself is eternal. We've been here a lot of times before.
Yeah.
A lot of times before, and I'm sure that somewhere along the line, I must surely have met the lovely Lola somewhere. You know what I mean, down through history.
Well, if you see how red her face is, she's wishing she met you.
Yes, indeed, and they're called Biavians. They are from a planet called Biave. It is located in what we call the Taurus constellation, about 450 light years from Earth. Now, they can cross that distance one way in about 4.5 years as we measure time, which means that they have the ability to run 100 times the speed of light and crossing the vastness of space. They have been coming here since the time of Ezekiel's wheel, Elijah's fiery chariot. You see what I mean?
Mm-hmm. Yes.
They are recorded in the ancient Sumerian cuneiform, the Egyptian hieroglyphics, and of all other ancient races upon the face of the earth, all the way to the Pacific Rim and the Americas, and you name it. So they are not strangers. They've been coming here all the time.
Now, when you said that the one that met you, now did he give you his name or?
His name is Okwa.
His name is okay.
Okwa Tenzin 1. I call him 10.
Okay. Now, was he? Has he been around since? He said he saw you at the shore of the Nile. He's the same one, or?
Well, I understand that he is roughly 10,000 years of age.
Wow.
As we measure time, so chances are, I knew him back in his younger days. Mm-hmm. Yeah, chances are.
Well, if they travel if they can travel that distance in only 4.5 years, then their time span is entirely different than ours is.
Well, of course, my dear. For instance, eventually you're going to have to get your symbol, my dear. But if you are on their home planet, your lifeline would grow exponentially, which means that you wouldn't be thinking about you'd be going to play golf 4,000 years from now. You know what I mean? Otherwise, they said physical death is really not necessary. However, they did say this: there will come a time when, regardless of that you will choose to not be recloned and say, "Let me grow old and go to rest." So, no matter how long you can live, ultimately there'll come a time when you grow weary of life anyhow and want to rest some. You see what I mean? So then, in that sense, life is not infinite to the extent of the physical body itself. No matter how old you may live to be, eventually you'll say, "Hey, no, don't clone me anymore."
Now, what do you mean clone?
At a certain age, they will take your DNA and begin to clone another body for you.
Really?
Now, but what they will do, Jordan, is they will inhibit the growth of the cerebrum and the cerebellum. Now, they'll leave intact, say, the hypothalamus and the limbic region, as well as some of the occipital factors. However, then they will transplant the present brain into the new body.
Oh.
And you're good for another, 6,000 maybe?
Now, does this happen to everybody, or is this a select few?
No, it happens to everyone who wishes it so, who lives on BRB. They wouldn't do it here, of course.
Yeah, of course.
Because, for one thing, there's too many of us, numerically. And just think of it, if you remain sexually vital for the next 4,000 years.
I would like
Jesus Christ, little Kleinies.
Yeah, listen.
Yeah, right.
Listen, we don't want any more.
Yeah, two towns full of them. You know.
Evidently, you haven't met Jordan. He still isn't. Never mind. Now, have you been to their planet or to their ship, or
no,
have you been
I've
to the ship?
I've been to the mothership.
Oh,
and in this
how
solar
big
system,
must that be?
in this solar system, I'll get to that.
Okay.
In this solar system, I've been as far out as planet Pluto, and a bit beyond there. Nonetheless, the great mothership itself, in dimensions, it looks like a big old Tiffany egg. You know, Tiffany egg, and it's 40 kilometers across the middle.
Wow.
That is about 28 miles, and about twice that distance up and down. And it languishes out near the rings of Saturn. It is too fragile to bring into the atmosphere of this planet. So they, shuttles back and forth, like that. Smaller ships and what have you. But it's been there since biblical times, really.
Really?
Well, you must feel pretty honored that they would take you aboard the mothership. You might be one of the few.
Well,
I mean, how many people on this planet have traveled into space? And
I suppose, there's an old scripture that say, many are called, but few are chosen. I don't think that a lot of people have had that privilege, but I'm by far not the first wayfarer that they've ever had. I mean, they took Ezekiel up. They took, Joshua up. Enoch, they took him up. They took others.
Yeah, but those are pretty substantial names. We're just talking about
Joshua
and Ezekiel and
in their own time.
Yeah,
they weren't all of that great.
So, do you think that you're called to be a religious leader of some kind?
No, I wouldn't call it religious, my friend.
Okay.
But I believe that if somebody didn't know something about something, heaven and earth would pass away. They are flesh and blood, skin and bone. I do not find him to be so angelic until they are etheric. They have their faults. They have their technical difficulties. They fell at Roswell and some other places.
Was that them?
That was them, as well as the Stygians, who travels with them, the bony kind, the bony guys, tall bony guys.
Yeah.
Now, how many travel with them? Because I was under the impression, is it just the Biovians or?
No, there are seven intelligent species sharing a common mothership. However,
Wow.
each one of them have their own technologies, so to speak. There is one group called the Dorians that are obviously Caucasian. I mean, I think,
So
I love the laugh.
Right. They are blonde. They got these blue eyes. And you'd have to get close to him to see that he's really not like a human.
What's the difference?
Well, the difference is that the neck is somewhat elongated. The ears fit close to the profile and run around the jawline. The eyes are larger proportionately, the little bitty peakedy nose and little narrow lips, narrow mouths, and what have you.
Sounds like my ex-husband.
And they are telepaths, but they can also, some of them can talk. I mean, like verbally, like me and you, And so, if we are looking back in the history and the chronogenesis of humankind, You know, no one has ever been able to literally explain from a genetic level where everybody came from. Because even though we do share a common genetic bond, there are some different-looking people on this planet. You know what I mean? When you get down to, say, you know, Oriental, Black, African race, etc., white, etc. You see what I'm talking about?
Yeah, yeah.
And what have you. So I do know that they have been mixing with us on a genetic level.
Really?
So, oh, yes, since pre-biblical times. Now, if you will, referring you to, say, an ancient scripture like the Bible, say, for instance, if you're reading Genesis from the house of Adam, it will tell you that, and in those days, there were people who lived 6, 7, 8, 900 years. You understand? Mm-hmm. Down through Methuselah, Joshua, all of those. You see what I mean?
Yeah.
Now, if they knew how to build pyramids, do animal husbandry, and irrigate the Fertile Crescent, they knew what a damn year was, didn't they?
Yeah.
So this is what I'm saying. So as the bloodline diffused out upon the earth, then the lifespan once again dwindled to become shorter, you know, like it is now. But even today, son, you live longer than your great-grandfather did.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now, so you, at the age of, how old were you when you went first time?
7.
7,
Uh-huh.
okay. Since then, how many times have you went back and forth?
3 times.
Okay, now because I've always wanted to know, what exactly is it like in the ship? You know, what happens?
Oh, Jesus Christ. It boggles the brain just thinking about it. I mean, if you, when we were approaching the ship, we slowed down to, say, about 10,000 clicks an hour. And,
that's slow.
Yeah, and I'm thinking, oh, we're going to hit it. I didn't see any big doors opening or anything. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I was saying, hey, we're going to hit it. We're going to hit it. Slow it down. Hey, where's the brakes? Slow it down, you know. And before I could develop a blood-curdling scream, something happened like this. Like the shutter of a camera. We were in.
Wow.
Yeah. And stopped from 10,000 to 0 in 1/10 of a second. Yet you felt no sensation of G or centrifugal force. See what I mean? Mm-hmm. And what have you, this is because of their propulsion system, which possibly we'll get into a little later here. But all I'm saying is that now, after you enter that third door, the first door, they don't want the atmosphere to escape. So the door opens only wide enough for your ship and closes immediately. Then that's the area where, as far as the eye can see, you see ships in dry dock. They're working on them, robots, crews, etc., etc., as far as the eye can see until it curves. On the next inside level, you'll find the tech people, the big timers that running the fusion reactors and things of this nature, and etc., and then the cooking the food and preparing the foods and etc., etc. Then on the inside, when you get to the third door, you stand and you look out, and you behold a new world. You look up, you can't see the top, and you'll see birds flying through the distance. You look down, you can't see the bottom, and if you look out further, you'll see 3 levitating, domed gardens floating out there in the middle. No doubt people by whoever they are in there. And then around, there's a stair, for instance, like in the airport, that goes round and round and round and round and round and round, 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 on upward and round the other way going downward. You see what I mean?
Yeah, yeah.
And these are floors. And you can hear the thrum, the low humming of the great fusion reactors and things like this. If you jump off, you seem like you're probably never going to hit the ground. That's if you jump over there. So the thing is so awesome, and you will see tens of thousands of individuals of various different alien races going here and there, levitating cars, etc., etc., free-flying birds, all of these type of things. And heavens to Betsy. and on top of that, in 2004, my book was written some 22 years ago.
Uh-huh.
In 2004, the Cassini space rocket started taking photos of some great luminous object out near the rings of Saturn. Now, because they farm out a lot of their stuff, few of the pictures got out.
Yeah.
And they could not explain it. You know, it's not a star, it's not a meteor, it's static in one place, and it's self-illuminated, blah, 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 blah. But I told them what damn chip was 2 decades ago.
Yeah, well, how did they respond to you telling them that?
What they have done is decided not to kill me.
That's always good.
Right.
That's a plus.
Said, let him talk. You know?
Now, I got a question real quick from the chat room.
Okay.
Barb asks, why do you think that they brought you back?
Oh, well, I learned in 1953 that Mother Earth is in a lot of trouble and heading hell-bent for leather towards destruction by our own hands. Somebody has to come back and give this information to the people as best we possibly can. Now, all of these things will be explained to you in the book. You got to go to RileyMartin.com, RileyMartin.com, get the book. Won't cost you that much. And it will explain many, many of the questions you ask. But I am by far not the only person who has ever been taken. It's been happening for all the written history of humanity as far as that is concerned.
Uh-huh.
But nobody ever listened to anybody before, did they? You know.
Yeah,
and thus we have suffered many great adversities and near extinctions down through history.
Humans don't really listen that well.
Right. Now, this one will make the Holocaust look like child's play. So, therefore, it is best that a person take note and listen. At least listen. Because our destiny is in our hands. We do not have to kill somebody to get the oil to run your car. We can run your car without using oil. We can light your cities without using fossil fuels and all of this. We have the ability to not destroy this planet. You understand?
Oh, yeah, totally.
But, of course, it's not going to switch that quickly. But if we gave it the old college try, then I believe they would help us, as they have on occasion down through history.
Like, what are some of the occasions where they've helped us?
Dr. Joseph Salk, Jonas Salk, George Washington Carver, Gandhi, King, Kennedy. What I'm saying is that they didn't just land at the White House and say, hey, do this, but somebody got a bright idea, Nikola Tesla, about AC current instead of DC current.
Yeah.
Somebody said, wow, I believe I can use penicillin to stop the polio.
So you're saying
I'm saying that
gave them
on a telepathic level and even a genetic level, they have down through the ages imbued certain people with concepts like E equals MC squared.
Yeah, so instead of start parking, going, here's what you need to do, it's kind of a nudge this way,
right,
a nudge
right,
that
right.
way. Okay, much more
like a muse.
Right, they couldn't come over and do lunch with them big heads. You know what I mean? You know what I'm talking about. But there have been those who said, oh, okay, if you do it this way, you can stop this polio epidemic, or you can do this or that, or blah, blah, blah. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And so they came right in the nick of time, did they not? Just like the Black Plague and what have you. someone came along and said, hey, maybe it's germs doing this. Maybe it's the fleas. You know?
Yeah.
Things like this. So we have been retrieved in various different manners, much of which we cannot necessarily count it off to our own magnanimity or what have you.
Now, Riley, I got a question on how they look, and because like in depth, you get so many different stories of they look like this, they look like this.
Well, I can tell you what mine look like.
Let me yeah, that's what I want to know what your friends look like.
The typical Biavian male, like Tan, he will stand about 4 feet tall, maybe 4'2", 4'3". The tallest one is about 4'4". He will weigh about 35 kilos, or about 80 pounds. The cranial structure is larger in proportion with the body, it would seem. There are no ear flaps, though there are little holes there where the ears should be. The eyes are larger in proportion, and what have you, small nose, almost flat to the profile, small lip, baby-like teeth. The upper torso is well-formed. However, the arms are somewhat elongated, the fingertips stretching almost down to the knees. Biavians have 4 fingers, that is the thumb, and the next 3 fingers. The hip structure is strong, the lower legs somewhat spindly, the feet are kind of flat and splayed, and they walk with an easy motion instead of being hyper. The reason I say that is I put my head to his chest. His heart rate is about twice that of a human's, about 160 beats per minute. However, they do not express hyperness, so to speak. There are no hair follicles on the body. However, there are pores. Now, Biavians range in skin complexion from olive black to chalk white, and all the colors in between. That is the browns, the reds, the yellows, the whites, etc. Blah blah blah. You see what I mean?
Yes.
And that's the male. Female is the same, except several inches shorter, generally. These are Biavians. Of course, now they got some more stuff on that ship that's real whacked out, man, if you're looking at it.
Well, what do they look like?
Well, there are 7 intelligent species. Biavians, the ones I say, that I know best. Stygians. Yeah, Stygians that travel with the Biavians are the brainiacs. They are tall, leathery type skinned, somewhat bony-like, and all that, and may stand 6 feet or above.
Wow.
Third groups are called Dorians. Dorians, if you see them, a bunch of them sitting eating or something, you could just say it was a bunch of blonde white people. but upon closer inspection, you can see a difference. And they look so much alike until I surmise that they're probably an engineered race. Now, I could be wrong. A third group called the Targzicians. Fourth group, rather. Targzicians. Targzicians are obviously reptilian.
Obviously.
Smart reptiles.
Yeah.
So to speak. They'll stand anywhere from 5.5 to 6 feet tall. And they have soft, scaly skin and reptile eyes. And I don't really like them.
Yeah, which ones were? I just got a phone call there, Mr. Martin. Which ones were the blonde hair, blue eyed ones?
Dorians.
Dorians.
I call
Okay.
them Dorians.
All right.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Dorians. And there's another group, short, stocky, blue of skin, called Neptunians. Neptunians are from a high gravity planet, and they are essentially water people, so to speak. These were your Nemons of the ancient Dogons and all this. Next group are called Screed. Screed, these are smart insects.
Right.
They are a cross between praying mantis and locusts, put it like that. They stand as high as 5 feet tall, highly technical, and they are here. And then there's a seventh group. This group is formless. Take take something like a test tube, turn it upside down, fill it with a pink liquid that's got an eye floating in it. and a metal bottom on it. Now that's the seventh group. Their name is so digital until I cannot call it. But these are the seven that shares that common mothership. But they are by far not the only ones visiting this planet.
All right. Now let me ask you.
Can we go to the phone lines real quick? Yeah, let's go to Bill from Wheeling, Mr. Martin. Bill from Wheeling. Oh, I whacked him. Hold on.
Bill, call back.
Hold on, Bill. Hold on. All right, so let me call him back. I don't know how I did that.
No, I've
used his phone a million times.
I have a quick question while he's calling him back here. You said you didn't like the reptilian race, the Targazians, if I'm saying that name right. Are you there?
No, we're getting him back.
I thought
he's
I
gone.
thought you lost Bill from
I thought you
No, that's
yeah.
what I thought I did, and
like,
he is gone. Let me get him back for you. I'll get him back.
See
There
what
we go.
happens.
There we go.
We invite John into
It's
the
ringing.
studio, and
He's ringing back.
we invite him in, and he just
Sorry.
dumps our guest.
Riley, we lost you. Yeah. Hold on, Riley. Lost you. Put you right back on the air. Hold on. Riley is locked in. That was my Hamish fingers knocking Riley off. Riley, I apologize.
Right, I know that.
Totally my fault. I got these big ham hocks.
I know that I'm uninteresting and boring, but I didn't think you'd just hang up on me.
No, that was my fat finger. All right, now we have Bill from Wheeling, Riley. I apologize.
Hello, Bill.
Hello, Bill.
Oh, I can't begin to tell you what a true honor this is to talk to. I've never got to speak with anybody of your stature, sir.
Well, thank you, Bill. I mean, it's my honor, really.
I'm telling you, like, I've been sitting here for probably the last half hour, and I feel like no one with your stature's ever called into the station, and I feel like this power over Wheeling tonight, and I wanted to thank you for that, too.
Oh, beautiful.
These guys have done this show for a long time, and I listen every week.
Thank
you.
And
it's just something new tonight. I don't know what it is, Riley. I think it's just you being on the line. But, man, I listen to your show all the time on satellite radio. I know you were underpaid by tens of thousands of dollars, sir.
They're starving me out, kid, but the heavens forbid that I should find out how popular I am, which is what they think.
They pay a guy $500 million, and they can't even pay you $20,000 a week for one show, you know? I mean,
No. Well, I mean, otherwise they don't do that simply because I am not one who has done some B-grade movies, nor have I got caught screwing the makeup girl in the hole. Neither have I been dropping loads on some of the rest of the guys. You know what I mean? So I'm not famous enough, and therefore they got me cheap. You see what I mean?
Hey, but I want you to know you hang in there, man, because I look up to you. But if I can ask you one thing, and I'm being serious about this. As you know, there's a guy on that show that's been really sick recently, and
Artie.
Yeah, I mean, we've lost some great comedians in our time, like Belushi, Gauss, Carney.
Right.
You know, guys like Farley. And,
yes.
Do you think that he's going to go by the wayside? Like, you know what I mean?
I'm my good man. I love Artie. I'm just hoping from my heart. I've been trying to get through to him. I've been trying to contact him to have him to call me. I'm worried about him. Yes, I'm worried about him.
That's what I was hoping tonight. Right. I was trying to get to you. If you could get a hold of him, I think you are the one guy that can sit down with him, talk to him, and set him straight.
I'd bring him over here and sit his big ass down, talk to him and feed him, and just talk to him, and he'd be all right because he'd be out of the mix of the devilish things that goes on. You see what I mean?
I do. I'm shaking right now, Riley.
But I can save a person from bad men. I can even save a person probably from demons. But there's only one thing I cannot save them from. Themselves. You see what I mean?
And he has some dark demons, and hopefully you can get a hold of him, sir.
Yeah, I hope so. I mean, otherwise I would love to. Look, he don't have to give me not one dime. nothing. I don't want nothing from him.
Nothing but a hug.
Yeah, just a hug and his attention. Sit and talk. Let's talk. Let's eat some beans. Sit and talk with me. You know, otherwise, I wish I could help. I do. I really do. Breaks my heart because he's one of the greatest among them.
It's been an honor. I'll let the other guys get in tonight.
Hey,
well, thank you, good man. Thanks for calling. Give my love to the family.
I will, for sure.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, Bill from Wheeling. Thank you for the call.
Thanks for the call, Bill.
Artie, of course, is Artie Lang, who was found, was it this morning?
No, it's been a week now. Yeah, he was released this morning. Last night, yeah.
Well, bless his heart. I hope he's going to be okay.
Yep, absolutely. It's just when you think people are cleaning themselves up, and drugs are an awful demon to try to kill.
Well, sure, I know, good man. I'm aware.
Now, Riley, I want to ask: have you met any other humans, I guess, aboard the ship on your travels? Because here's why I asked: I've talked to other contactees, and they said that they meet people there.
Well, in 1953, I saw another gentleman. There, but he was like, at that time, he was in his 50s, and we did not actually talk to each other. He was across the way. Also, I'm firmly convinced that I walked and talked with a gentleman by the name of Nikola Tesla aboard that great mothership, though I did not know it at the time until I looked in an encyclopedia later, what have you. So, but I'm sure there must be other humans there, but there's only so much finite time you have, because I would generally stay there from anywhere from 3 to, say, 7 days, and they were teaching me what I should know. You know what I mean?
Sure. Now, another question from the chat room, and actually we have a couple, but I think I can combine them. So, what communication, what messages have they given him? And someone else asked, what would happen to the Earth, if we do, if we, humans, don't, listen to this message you have. And how did you get the message too?
Well, it's like this. Well, otherwise they give it to me more or less telepathically in their presence. Nonetheless, the aliens should not have to talk to you to let you know which way we're headed.
Oh, of course.
Now, take into consideration. Let's see, overpopulation, famine, wars and rumors of wars, cutting of the rainforests, melting of the poles, poisoning of the water tables, nuclear power, fission, wayward warheads, you name it, new diseases, etc., vectors, and all of these things. If we would devote our time and our efforts to cleaning up the Gaia and to helping the sick of the world and things of this nature, well, we would be a lot better. Reforestation, you name it, we'd be a lot better off. Instead of chasing the mighty buck, putting your mother out of her house that she's been in for 3 generations, closing the factory down and leaving with $400 million bonuses.
Yeah.
And what have you. If we would devote our lives to something besides thievery, gluttony, wars, dope, then we could make a better world. But if we don't do it, we're heading towards what is inevitable that's going to be as a result of such iniquitous continuum. You see what I mean?
Yeah.
And what have you. So you should be able to figure that out yourself to some extent. The Biavians didn't have to just tell me what they thought they would, so that ultimately I could write the documentation and then start to verbally pass it along to those who would listen.
Well, are they getting to the point where they're ready to throw their hands up and say, you know what, these people have messed this planet up for, eons of years, and nobody's paying attention now? To hell with them.
Right. I mean, otherwise, because they do feel, my darling Lola, they feel somewhat responsible for us, because before their time, we were little more than migrant hunter-gatherers.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Then all of a sudden, we are into astronomy, animal husbandry, irrigation, building great edifices. You know what I mean?
Yeah, they gave us the ideas, and so now
the
it's kind of
ideas
like,
as well,
yeah.
to some extent, the neurological power, and all of this because in those days there were giants in the lands, and these sons of the gods looked upon the daughters of men and found them fair, and took of them wives, and their sons became of old great men of a renown. So therefore, the first great kings and things of this nature, those Elohim, so to speak, were the ones who kicked all this crap off, being children of those long-lived visitors. They never would have mixed if they hadn't got trapped here, you know.
Now, I have to ask you this. Everybody's been talking about, and the movie just came out 2012. You've been hearing about it forever.
Right.
December 21st, 2012. It's supposed to be catastrophic day. Anything about that? Did they tell you anything about?
Right. According to my reckoning, this planet will reach terminal saturation around that time. However, I have been asked to withhold my complete synopsis of what I am going to learn until May 9, 2012, at which time I will reveal all that I know about all things that's going down, period. Nonetheless, 2012 is a pivotal point in the either destruction or ascension of the human species.
So you could be like our end-of-time savior.
Well, I mean, otherwise I would say, hey, man, don't smack that big guy because he's going to kick your ass.
Now, here's
well, otherwise, you know what I mean? I could say, hey, please don't stand in front of that train.
Yeah.
Because if you do, you're going to die.
Now, why May 9th? Why that date?
Well, actually, it just happens to be my birthday.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
Great day then.
Deductive reasoning. I got a question. Like, we've only got like 10 minutes left, and I want to hit this. While you were in, like, I don't want to say being abducted. While you were taken, did they do anything? Because I've been told from other contactees that most of the abductions are all based sexually.
No, I did get into some sexual things. Nonetheless, it was fun.
So this was your choice.
It was there. It had hybrid women there.
So it's not like the...
but however, then I have some kids. However, I want to say to you, my darling Lola.
Yes.
Even though I have jumped through the light factor out across the voids of space and had the ignominious pleasure of having touched tenderly a number of hybrid women, I have found nothing out there, nor seen anything in the cosmos that would move me like you, my darling.
She has turned as red as a stop sign at this point.
Oh my goodness, that was good. I have to admit that.
Boy, I was just sucking that right in. I'm telling you.
Now you were given symbols. You were shown symbols, and I know you've given symbols to people, and I know. I remember watching on Jerry Springer, you had a symbol for him that kind of told him about his past life. Now, what about Lola?
Well, I won't give statistics on the air. However, if she so desires, go to RowdyMartin.com. And, Lola, if you don't got no money, I will still do your symbol.
Okay.
But I will like to know your immediate chronology. For instance, my father and mother are African-American and Native American.
Okay.
And if, say, for instance, my father is Irish, my mother is dead. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And that's all I need. And, if at all possible, a photo, a copy of a photo.
Okay.
And I'll gladly do your symbol. And then, if you want to reveal anything about your symbol to these nosy guys, then you can feel free to do so.
It's out of love, Riley.
All right, Riley.
Now, did you?
And also give my website now. People to go there and get your books, Riley Martin, whispers011110.com. That's spelled RILEYMARTIN.com. Get your books. You can get the talking book in my voice, or you can get the written book.
I think I want that.
Yeah, and you can get the written book, and you can also get your symbol, and then realize that the symbol you get will be the original. There is no other one exactly like it on the face of this planet.
And you have to say the talking Raleigh Martin bobblehead, which I think is very cool.
Oh, yeah, well, there are a number of products there. But these are the ones who are going to be very, very implementary to your well-being.
Now, I was told that one of your best sellers is a bucket.
Yeah, a jug.
A jug, like a trucker jug?
Yeah, well, otherwise,
Yeah.
get caught out on the highway in a traffic jam, having drank a six-pack, and you will get you a jug.
There you go.
Very creative, Ryan.
Yeah, right.
Giant trucker bomb.
It's utilitarian, son. Sounds funny, but it's a necessity.
Oh, yeah.
It's a necessity to a guy.
Yeah, you really don't explode.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying.
Now, Riley, I want to let you know on our website, whispers radio.com, we have your website linked up and a big picture of your book on there that all people have to do is click on it and it'll go right to the order page.
Beautiful. Thank you, guys. And on top of that, I like you guys.
Oh, we like you too.
And so I'd like to do some more with you at some point in the future.
Oh, we'd love to have you back.
Absolutely.
Call me, if at all possible. Call me up, and if at all possible, I'll gladly be honored to do your show anytime because we got a lot to talk about.
I agree.
Yeah, I mean, we barely touched the surface.
We haven't even scratched the surface of the surface.
And I want to tell you, our boss here is running the board right now, John, and he runs our morning show, and I'm sure that you'd have a blast doing the morning show.
Yeah, well, I have John to, if you will. What's his name? Blackmore.
Blackmore.
Okay.
Yeah, we'll contact you and get you on one of these mornings coming up here.
Well, I mean, otherwise,
awesome.
John, I love you now, but it has to fit in with when I can come on.
Oh, I understand. Believe me, we'll set it up way in advance.
But still do so.
Sure.
And give my love to all of the families. And take care and have a marvelous year.
Well, before we go, I'm sure you picked up some of the language.
Right.
Can you say anything in
Biavian?
Yeah, Biavian.
Well, actually, when you say the words "qua omsa lajuan," roughly it translates as all praises unto the light. All praises unto the light. Olana takapakaratu. Wishing you well and may many blessings be unto you.
Oh.
And so forth.
Wow. And how long did it take you to learn that?
Well, if you're around them, because telepathy is more or less symbiotic, it just kind of soaks in.
Yeah.
And you can hear them talking. And what have you, and he'll explain what he meant. And over time, you'll pick up a little bit. I don't speak it fluently.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
Kind of immersion.
And Tan, his how was his name?
Okwa Tenzin Wan.
Got it.
Does that mean something, or?
Yeah. I think it means something like first son.
First son.
First son of the light. Something like that.
Very cool.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
All right, cool.
Yeah, definitely. And
now, did they give you any kind of name or anything itself, or did they just call you Riley?
Yeah. What is your Peruvian name?
Go to Biavian name.
Go to Peruvian. I don't know.
Yeah. Go to wayfarerexchange.com, and there's a symbol there called the Umsa Trinexus, and below that, in the explanation of it, is my ancient name. I don't necessarily talk about it much.
Okay.
But it'll give you the, more or less the name.
See,
okay?
if I had an ancient name, I'd tattoo it to my back.
Well, I will give you one of your ancient names if you ever get your symbol. Always.
Actually, Jordan needs it tattooed to his arm so he can remember who he is at times.
Oh, Quantanzin Wong! I got you.
Yes, indeed. And hey, it's been a real pleasure, kid.
It's been great. We've had a lot of fun.
We can't wait to have you back.
That would be great. And take care, Lola. You're going to be fine, my darling.
Thank you.
I tell you what, you made that girl blush more than Barry Fitzgerald did from Ireland.
I think she's stuck in permanent blush at this point.
Son, when the day comes, is that the day comes that I do not love beautiful women. Just throw the dirt on my butt.
Hey,
right.
Riley got another call. Our good buddy Sammy the Bull wants you to say hi to him out there.
Okay.
You got to say hi, Sammy the Bull.
Oh, hello, hi, Sammy the Bull.
Very good.
Awesome.
He's out there
working,
listening.
I'm sure.
He's working tonight hard. All right.
All right, Riley Martin, thank you very much. It's RileyMartin.com. And get his book, The Coming of Tan.
The Coming of Tan, and to get your symbols, people, and take care, kids, and it's been a pleasure.
Hey, thank you, Riley. Thank you, Riley.
Bye, Riley.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye. I just want to say that was the most amazing hour of radio.
I told you he was a 12 on a scale of 1 to 10.
You did. I didn't know where you were going with it this morning when you were.
Yeah, I mean, he is just
giving
something.
me a crash course.
John calls me up this morning. It's like 7 o'clock. He said, tonight, Radio Gold.
And we've got 24 minutes and 49 seconds of pure drop brilliance that Biff will have cut up in the next couple of days.
I love this. You gotta.
All right, hold on. Can we go to the phone line real
Yeah,
quick?
let's go to the phone line.
All right, go ahead. Say hi. You're on the air.
Hi, you're on the air.
Yes, the best 30 minutes of radio I've ever heard on WKKX.
Thank you.
Thanks. We've been on for 2 hours, but it was the best 30 minutes.
I'm glad our 2-hour show is the best 30
All right,
minutes.
say you're on.
You're on the air.
You're on the air.
Hello.
Hey.
Hey.
This must have been the most compelling radio once again. I'm speechless, and that's hard for me to be speechless.
Yes,
is
that's
this
true.
Bill?
You know what? It was my pleasure to listen to your radio show.
Thank you.
Oh my God! Wait a minute. That's the first
true.
time
You
he's
need
ever said
to
that.
record this.
Okay.
We get
part.
this. Yeah.
This might. I listen to you quite often, and I'm glad I'm listening to you tonight because I wouldn't believe it if someone told me.
Right there. I mean, we've had some real people on the air that go down, and that is definitely.
Is there any way you
unique.
could maybe step in for that guy in the morning?
Say goodnight, Jay.
Hey, it was my pleasure.
Yeah.
Oh, it was
yeah,
y'all? Wow.
My
Yeah.
pleasure.
All
See you,
right,
Jay.
later.
I'm telling you, this is a red letter day. Red letter day.
That's great.
Well, how do you want to? Do you want to end with this song over here?
Yeah, Nikki, who we got next week?
Dwayne Claude and someone else.
And someone else. Dwayne Claude is our, I guess, resident demonologist. We've had him on several times.
Yes, we'll be talking to him.
He does exorcisms, so that should be real
nice.
great. We're going to end the show tonight with a song about Mr. Riley Martin, because how else would you end the perfect show?
And he has all kinds of awesome stuff like this on his website. You got to go just
RileyMartin.com. He even sells his headbands. So,
Does he really?
Yeah.
I'm getting one of those.
You got to. They have mugs. They got.
He's got everything. He would sell anything.
He would sell the shirt.
Absolutely.
Everything's got a cost.
Make the man an offer.
That's right.
All right. So until next week, everybody, don't be afraid. Only believe.
Hello. My name is Riley Martin. Hello. My name is Riley Martin. In 1953, near the St. Francis River, I heard a voice saying, "O Tanziwan, Huamsa, Lajiwan. O Tanziwan, Huamsa, Lajiwan." If we seek the truth, we shall find it. I'm delusional, marsupial tenacious, juxtaposition, reptilian, equilibrium, disoriented, insectilians, extraterrestrials, thousands if not millions, intangible vibration in the audience, civilization, universal information. That was a hell of a hallucination. He's crazy. My name is Riley Martin. My name is